Hello everyone, this is FallenDice and welcome to episode 20 of Burpcraft Feed the Beast with FallenDice. So we are jumping right back in where we left off. It's time to continue on with the automation so that we can start building the stuff without having to really do a lot. It sounds lazy. But anyway, so what we're going to do today is we're going to incorporate our IC2 stuff into our ME system now. Figure before we even get started on other systems, we might as well add this in because this is kind of like the gateway of all of our IC2 kind of stuff going on. So how we're going to do this is we're going to first off take all this stuff out, which is going to be pretty easy. We're going to have it set up that all of our items are just going to go straight to storage, including our ores. And then we're going to have on the furnaces, well, the furnaces will take from here still. No, I think it's actually, we may even have to, it's going to be a lot of back and forth, but because it's instant, it's not going to be as much. But for these, we'll have like the import gates on here. Is it the, I'm sorry, import bus. And it's just going to say, you know, iron ore. So anytime there's iron ore in the system at all, it's going to try and fill this up. It can only add in 64, so it's going to keep pumping away in this until it's either there's no more ore in the system, or basically it's finally got enough room to put everything in. So I mean that's going to be the kind of the cool thing about this. And then again, the output is just going to go right back into our storage system. And the same thing here, only for here it's going to be a little different. Although, no, for the most part, for the most of these we can, or for part of these I should say, we can still use the import bus, because we can just say if you have iron dust or coal, or not coal dust, but iron dust or gold dust, any of those things is going to fill these slots here and continue to fill those up. For other things, we're going to actually have to have the interfaces on these. And what that's going to do is we could actually go ahead and take this away right now. We'll put one of these on to demonstrate. But basically, you click on it, and it's got this spot here which is processing. Now, we'll use these on all these just to make it all look the same. But for some of these where it says imported items, we can put, say, the dust in here. And if there's any dust in the system, it'll automatically try to fill this thing up, just kind of like the import bus. In fact, the import bus is actually made out of one of these interfaces. The best part is, though, is that we're going to have the ability to put our patterns in here. And so when we say we want to do something like that requires, you know, being cooked. I'm drawing a blank on some of the different items that we can make. I'll take a peek here. Like food, there we go. Let's say we want steak. We'll have a pattern that says if you put raw steak in, you'll get cooked steak out. Simple enough. Then what we do is we just come over here, put that recipe in here, and then whenever we in the system say, hey, I want some cooked steak, if there's any raw steak in the system, it's going to put that raw steak into this induction furnace, and it will cook it for us. So that's for this. Nice and easy on both the macerator and here. And the same thing too is we can actually have on some of these our interface as well. So if we need to make coal dust, we can pretty much, you know, tell it to, you know, give us, you know, 3 stacks of coal dust, and it's going to have a recipe that says if you put coal in, you'll get coal dust out. Stick it inside, good to go. Now the awesome part about all this is it actually understands all the steps. So once this is all hooked up, if we wanted to make what's some IC2 stuff? Well, let's go over here to kind of demonstrate here really fast. Actually, armor. There we go. Quantum. Alright, so if we want to make the quantum suit helmet, let's actually look that up then. Quantum suit helmet. Okay, we're going to make the quantum suit helmet. To do that, we need iridium plate. Iridium plate requires advanced alloy. Advanced alloy takes mixed metal ingot. We get that from here. So if we put in the recipe that says that we put in all of these refined iron, bronze, and tin, we'll get this. And we put in the recipe that says if we then put that into a compressor, we get that. All the way down the line. When we click on helmet, it's actually going to go back and it's going to craft every single piece of this long process, as long as the pattern's in there, and it'll actually do it for us. So you don't even have to go through all the steps. So like the HV solar arrays, it always is a pain. As long as you have all the different patterns in there, you can just click on the solar array and it actually will craft everything for you that you need to create the final item. Again, awesome. Alright, so let's head over here. Compressor, same thing. We're going to put these on interfaces up top so that we want to make mixed metal ingots into advanced alloy. It'll automatically send them in. Same thing, extractors. All these things will have recipes for every single thing, and we can just click from our wireless terminal, tell it to go to the craftable items and craft whatever, and it's going to send all the stuff in here and do it automatically. I may leave this kind of similar. I haven't decided quite yet, because there's certain things that we want to keep, and then excess we want to go here. So I know there's a way that you can take two paths. Like you can have it fill up one thing until it reaches a certain level, and then after that anything excess will get put into another path, and we can send that to get recycled here. Candy machine, same thing. Mass fabricator, even better. We can stick one of these on top of here and tell it to keep it constantly filled with scrap. I have another one that says to take the scrap and put it into scrap boxes, and will always be filled, never have to think about it. Super awesome, super easy. I love what this gives us. So anyway, I am going to tear this open, get it to the where we can actually go ahead and start putting all this stuff together, and then I'll come back when we're ready to start actually doing some of this. Okay, we are ready to get started. So first thing, like I was saying, is we're going to set up these interfaces on all of these. So each one of these is going to have one of the interfaces. Now the only issue I'm going to, and I'm going to have to try and see if I can't come up with a way to combat this, but we do have the issue with the heating now. And I got to try and see if there's a way to kind of fudge that a little. Alright, so this is how we're going to have to do this. As you can see, stone is in there. I have made a recipe for stone. Stone being cobble in the furnace. So if we go over here and I tell it I want to make 10 smooth stone, come over here, you can see it dropped 10 cobblestone, and it's converted it into stone. Not getting exited in the system though, unfortunately. So that required this. This is I think about the best way to do it, and it's going to kind of match up with some of the stuff that'll happen over here where there's going to be something out in the front. So we use a structure pipe with the Antarctic gates in the front. It powers everything up, and we're still going to use our full range of it. And there we go, 15 stone. Now, that's what I was thinking, so I was probably going to have to do this. Now we can go ahead and take this export bus, and if we place it here, it should start sucking them out. It should. Pretty sure. Oh no, it's the import bus. I'm importing into the system. I always get those things mixed up. But you figure exporting out of the furnace, but technically we're importing into our storage. So there we go. Now it's feeding them all out. So if we go into here now, we will see that in the normal under stone, 97. So if I then go to craftable and say we want to create a stack. Now we come back out of here. Let's see, 102, 103, 104. Yep, doing good. Alright, I'm not sure why. Oh, because I have stone there. Okay. But yeah, so we're basically plugging away. Click on the item and we can see it's just as fast as it puts it in there, it's sucking it out. So that's how this is going to work. Simple and easy. And the same thing's going to happen here on our macerators. So if we were to put an export bus here, oops, no, I don't want it there, I want it facing down. Okay, there. And then we were to go ahead and take this iron ore, like that. Boom. Now it's going to fill up with iron ore, and it's going to continue to fill up with iron ore until it can't have any more space. And if we put an import bus in the back with the iron dust, it'll send it into the system, and then we make a pattern for iron dust into iron ingots, and that'll automate the process. As soon as we get any ore into the system, it'll automatically macerate it. The ones over here, we'll put it into the ingot form, and then we'll have it in the system. And we can set it up to do more than one item. So we could set it up to do both iron and gold. And then, of course, once the all the iron was done, it would start to do the gold. But we have plenty, so we can have it set up for all of our different maceratable items. And then we'll have a couple at the end where we're going to put the pattern in for like the coal dust and stuff. Alright. Well, let me get these two sections here done. Let me make up all my patterns and everything, and then I'll come back when we're ready to move on over here. Alright, we are going now. Actually, I think that's my last copper ore. All the copper ore has been smelted, so it's doing the very last one here. And then we have our tin ore going in, silver, all using these wonderful things, and both types of silver. So there's, I hate when two different mods create the same ore. It doesn't overlap, but anyway, there's our iron and our gold. Now we come over here. Don't see you yet. Oh yes, because I haven't told it to. Well, I suppose technically for the three, like this one here is going to be, these three here are going to be for adding extra recipes. But I guess technically for these ones, if I wanted to say automate it, which I guess I can, because I really don't, these are just going to be an automatic. It's going to do it every single time. So for that case, we would want an export bus. Throw those on there really fast here. And let's see. I need all the different dust, which right now are in the system. So I need 1 copper, 1 tin, 1 silver. Eventually I'll get the other type of silver as well. 1 iron and 1 gold. Nice. And now as soon as I put you into here, oops, gotta actually do it manually. And you into here. And like I said, the reason for this is just because I want this to be automatic. I don't, you know, when I turn on my quarry, it'll just automatically start pumping this stuff out. Now with the speeds of it going, technically I could probably put like tin and copper in one, and you know, iron and gold, or gold and silver in one, and iron in another one, if I start running out of room. But that's that for now. So there we go. We have our 1 remaining recipe in there, and as we come up with more things, we'll just throw them in these, and it'll just kind of do it for us. But for the moment, our ore will continually drop down. Like right now I have 7,000. Well, I haven't got to that point yet, but I have 3,000 iron ore that's going to slowly get worked through, and then of course turn it into our dust, which then gets moved over to here. And you can see it's already, we've already gone through all the dust in the system except for the new stuff coming out. And our ingots should be continuing to grow. There we go. Alright, so this part is all done, all automated. All I really need to do now is grab my covers. Ah, this is so silly, so ridiculous. I guess I can put these back in the system now. There we go. So we can now cover this up. Alrighty. Now we gotta figure out how we're gonna do this. So let me cover this all up. I'll take a moment to think about this, and I'll be right back. Now the next thing we're gonna be doing, this one as well is going to for sure have the interface, because we want to be able to tell it what recipes it needs to be able to make. I don't know yet what they're going to be, but that is going to be the case there. These ones technically, I guess, really only need to be export buses. So they're all of these technically. So we can basically tell that we want this to be any incoming, because I've realized now, actually no, if I put on here that cobble, it would basically drain all the cobble. I'll figure out a way. I want to make it so that it's only the incoming stuff from a quarry. We got the redstone mode, always active, active without signal, active with signal. I'll find a way. We'll set it up so we can actually have a signal on here that's going to say it's only going to turn these on if there's more than, say, a certain number of cobblestone in the system, and then one that's only on if there's a certain number of sand in the system, dirt, and we'll pick our main items that we want here, and so it'll only be on to keep the system to a certain point. Anything excess is going to get pumped out, so probably things like marble. Yeah, that works. That works out really well, actually. Or maybe what we might end up doing is adding in a couple more for a few more items, and we can add some more things around this corner. I like that a lot. And then this one here, I can already go into the system and fix this one. This is going to be scrap boxes. So we want to put scrap boxes in there. Keep it filled. It used to take... does it have to go into specific... because that should be there. Alrighty. Huh. It didn't want to... Interesting. Alright, I'm going to wait till we get a... Okay, there we go. So now we'll go ahead and take you off. If I put in a import bus, will you suck the UU matter out? Let me play with this for a little bit. Let me figure out exactly how to make this work. This one's a little bit different. I hadn't actually played with this one yet, so I will be back in a sec. Alright, so two things. Number one, we weren't hooked up to the system. I forgot to bring the cables around the side here. Number two, to feed them in, it actually had to go from underneath. So the export bus has to be underneath, feeding it in for it to put it in the bottom slot here. And then the import bus on the top pulls out our UU matter as soon as we get it. And then we rerouted power to get it to there. So now it's pulling scrap from storage, sending in our UU into storage. We're good to go. Now we're down to our last section. And we have extractors, and we have compressors. So all of these guys are going to be done in the same, or are going to be multi-use ones. We're just going to go ahead and right off the top, there's nothing that I'm automatically going to be pumping through in here. Maybe at some point when I get a rubber tree, then I can go back and think about it. But at the moment, I don't have any use for an automatic system. So your input, then we need import buses here for back into the system. There we go. And then one of you guys to connect up there. And now you're good to go. Anything that ends up coming from here or there goes into our system. And then we can put our recipes in here, like say for our mixed metal ingots, so we can make our recipe for that. Alright, so we're pretty much, with the exception of patterns, we're pretty much done here. And these ones are all going to be, like I said, general use. So for each one of these, we'll go ahead and stick our extra item frame in. And there we go. IC2 system is now connected and online and good to go. Just missing recipes. So let me figure out which one of these next ones I want to do next. We'll start getting all the materials ready for it, and then I will be back shortly. Alright, so we're ready to move along. And as we look in here now, we can see I've added some more recipes. So basically, I can now make any of the storage disks, pretty much any of the blocks for the AE, so as I need to expand, I can just come in and click on them, as well as all the stuff for the next section we're going to go to do, which is basically our Railcraft section. So I'm slow as I'm moving along. I could make these all by hand, but I figure instead of going through and making by hand, we just make sure we do each one of the recipes. That way we can now make them as we need them. So let's go ahead and clear the inventory. Now I think I'm done putting in recipes for the moment. That's the fun part, is actually putting in the recipes. Something else I did. Whoops. Let's see. No, I don't want that one. I don't want that. I wanted that one. Okay. Get rid of you. Okay. One of the things I did is I swapped out that storage chest with an ME drive. So I now have 3 64K storage disks in here. So I have a pretty good overflow for what I need. So first off, the first thing I think we're going to do is our industrial smelters. Alright, and I actually am going to need 12 of them. So hopefully we have all the items necessary to build it. There we go, 6, 9. What are we short on? Machine frame and glass. Let's see. So I'm short on glass. I bet you the machine frame requires the glass. And those should come out rather quickly. There we go. Alright, 12 induction furnaces. Now we're going to head back over here. And hopefully, as I'm getting more and more of my stuff in this storage system, it takes away that need to run to storage back and forth a lot, because I have the items here that I need. So, alright, let's go ahead and just right off the bat, let's get this cleared. Throw you back in there. Now we have 12, like I said, and that's going to be 6 on the bottom, 6 on the top. So we'll start off by putting these in, and then we're just going to do the same up here. And there's an actual specific reason for the numbers and positioning. Again, like I said, I spend quite a bit of time playing in creative kind of designing said system. And the funny part is that in this thing that I'm about to do here, I'm actually going to put in rock crushers, and that actually was kind of a useless thing, but I was just kind of adding in all the machines. And Burpmod is going to make them useful here shortly. And I'm actually able to make quartz crystals using the rock crusher out of Craft crystals. We'll dust and then compress them into crystals, but it's kind of cool that we're going to have that use for them now. Alright, so we'll set those up there. And once we get in here, we're going to have to do a little clearing of the underneath to make sure we have access to everything. It's one of the, I would say, the less fun parts about all this here is making room for all the accesses needed for this, because with the induction furnaces, we're going to be having to do the recipes again. So it's going to be the interface card or interface on here, then the import bus, power into it, plus a way to feed the items into it. So unfortunately, it ends up having quite a bit of stuff dealing with this. But anyway, let me, actually I do need to get a few more things here. So let me grab a few things and I will be right back. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is power. And this is one of the machines where every single side of it has to have an input. So the thing I came up with that actually looked the least, that I didn't hate, that I hated the least, there we go, was kind of using the redstone conduits in the front. Since we have that there, it'll kind of match up. I really wish I didn't have to at all, but unfortunately, I don't have that choice. Now the issue is connecting these up and concealing it. You know, if we put it down here, we actually have to see it. If we put it up there, we have to see it. If I were to basically take you up to here and bring it around to there. Although, you know what? It's hard to see in there. Okay, I'm okay with this. Alright, we are good. We are good. So, let's see. We'll put you guys up there and there. And honestly, I really can't see what I thought was going to be bugging me the most. Which is good. Because if it bothered me, then I would just frustrate me. Eventually, I'd have to go change it. Okay, good. Alright, that's good. Now we just need to connect it up with power elsewhere. Okay. So let's see. We're going to put the tesseract here. Now we need 2 lengths of pipe. I may need to go further. Got to make sure we have our pipe available. Okay. So let's see. We can actually put our redstone energy cell right here. And then, can I get underneath it? Yep. Okay, good. And then from there goes our energy tesseract. Now the next part of this is going to be export. And a lot of export. Alright. And the reason for that is we have to export 2 things into a lot of these. And that is sand in some of these. And I think it actually may be sand in all of these. And I think it doesn't matter which side. That's a cool part about this machine. So at the moment where it's green, we're going to turn all these off because it makes it easier. Just to demonstrate what we're going to be doing here. Okay, so where green is, or where the bottom is right now, it's yellow, or it was yellow. Okay, let's just get you, bye-bye. Nope. Alright, nope, 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 nope. Okay, so bottom is green. And green is going to go into here, and that is going to be our sand. Oops, too many S's. Alrighty, sand, there we go. So now when I click over on this bus here and say sand, should, once we connect it to the system. And you're getting full of sand, and if I go over here and turn you into move a full stack, now you're full of sand. Okay. Alright, so both of these, top and bottom, can fill it with sand, so that's good. Now we need to come to the back side. And the back side, we also have this here. So we have some new items that we haven't been able to or haven't dealt with yet. So we've got aluminum ore, lead ore, cinnabar ore. I think that works with that. Ferrous ore, tungsten ore. I'm going to try them all. Coal ore, diamond ore. That's right, I filled some stuff up. Okay. Let's see. So we're going to go into this one. And we're going to say aluminum ore. Moving full stacks. So, oh yeah, backside. Okay, so I always forget which one. Okay, so right now you guys are black on the purple. Okay, sweet. Okay, so it's this one down here. So this needs to be, okay, blue works, or purple will work as well. There we go. So we are now creating aluminum. Yay. And that's feeding into our system here. We also have the chance of the slag on some of these. And then if we switch over here to import, put you down there. You should be, oh, that's right. I still need to do the bottom. So the bottom should be, what, orange? Orange. We want them both, yes. So the next section that we're going to do on the other side is our rolling machines. So let me go grab the materials real fast. Actually, let me finish this up and grab the materials, and then I'll come back. Alright, so this is all taken care of now. I ended up going with it all the way to circle around it. Because it was better than having it just on one side, and I didn't like how it went up on the inside because I couldn't conceal things well enough. So right now I'm going through doing aluminum, lead. Ooh, I need to start pumping that out. Iron and iron. And I'm doing all these because I'm actually trying to save up some rich slag, which we're starting to get there now. So as these get filled up, once they're a little bit more, and we have a backstock in storage, then I can start doing my ferrous, because apparently that's going to be important or something. So haven't gotten that far into the research on that yet, but here we are now with our next section, and that is our rolling machines. Like I said, this is going to be another double high, 6 on each. Technically, I think there might only be 10 recipes, but I can't really do it 5, so we'll put in 6, and maybe we'll duplicate a couple or something, just for the sake of having it. This one, luckily for us, has a lot better options for concealment. I don't have to have anything up in the front. So for this one, I think the bottom and the top we're going to have our interfaces, because we're going to be putting recipes inside of these. So let's clear this out here. And then the power will be coming from the back, so we'll just run that real quick while we're at this. We'll make it floor level just to ease of access while we're doing things here. Alright. Oops. Okay, there you go. And then if I run you out to here, there we go. And these are all powered. Now we just take our interfaces. These ones go on the bottom. I need to do a little cleaning of halves here. There we go. Easy day. And then I think we need the import buses, because after that we'll be importing them back into our system yet from here. Let's see, we'll get on the other side here. Oops. Have one little hole we want to fix up. There we go. Oh, that's right, there's no door here. Got to come in off the side. Alright, there we go. And simple enough as we do that. And then we just got to connect it to everything else here. I think for now we'll just run it across the floor. Just like that. That'll connect those ones. And then, let's see if we run this up to here. And then the same up here. And that should probably help us. I may have to move it around a little bit when I actually bring in the last parts of our system up there, but for now, this works. There we go. Break you off. Alright, now you are completely plugged in. Recipes going down here. The whole purpose of these here is just to pull the items out of the system. So right now this is ready to go. All we got to do is put in a recipe. So let's see, what's our basic Railcraft recipes. We'll go over here to make the one just to show. Actually, I'll meet you there in a sec. Alright, so the quick and we'll do the easiest of all the recipes, which is the iron rail, or the standard rail, why are we... Should be... Oh, it's because it's in a rolling machine. Okay, gotcha. Alright, I have to make one the first time so we can make the recipe. So let me do that real fast and I'll be right back. Alright, so there's a different way we have to play with the rolling machines is they have to be specified. Like the machine has to have the items in there first. So we come over here to put our 6 iron ingots in here, which is going to give us our standard rail. Now from here, we go back to the pattern encoder, because now we have to tell the ME system how it's made, and then it's going to basically trust our rail system to do what we need it to do then. So first off, we need to get our rail, our standard rails. There we go. And there we go. Gotcha. Now we come in here and we are going to tell it that if we put in those 6 iron ingots, we are going to get 8 standard rails. And again, we always want to make sure on these that we put the correct number. So we don't want to just put 1 standard rail. We're going to get 8 standard rails out of this. And we're going to put it in our encoder and encode it. Gotcha. Now we can... What was I doing? Okay. Now we can go back and we're going to go to that our interface block there that's underneath it, and we're going to put that recipe in, and this will now allow us, so you got to get underneath here, we'll put it in U. So by putting this inside of there, we can now come over here, rail. So at the moment we don't have any in there, so we're going to tell it we want to craft, we'll craft 8. Hit begin. Now if we click on here, you can see it just threw in our 6 ingots, and we are now crafting there in the system, and we are good to go. Ah, love the system. Alright, yeah, we're gonna have to call this, because there's the one on that side is gonna take a little bit, so we're gonna call this episode here at this point. Again, we are making great progress, really moving along here, but I don't want to make, you know, an hour-long episode on this area here. So, with that, again, I will call this an episode. Again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time.